Hi, Alice here. Today I have the pleasure to do a garden walk with a gardener in Atlanta.
Hello, Martha McDermott.
Martha, how long have you been here and how long have you been working on your garden?
I moved here in 1981. I love plants and I learned by experience, but I want to point out some of my plants. This azalea was recommended to me by a neighbor many years ago, and it blooms twice a year.
Oh, is that one of those encore azaleas?
It is. You can see there's one here and over here, and they just take care of themselves. I've got some ferns in here that I've splashed around, and hostas that need to be divided. They're just very prolific, and I love the blooms on them right now. It's just a beautiful time of year.
So, Martha, how often do you have to divide your hostas?
At least once a year.
And when you divide them, what do you do with the divisions?
Plant them in other places, or they have a plant sale in Avondale down at Willis Park, and people can pot extra plants like this and take them and they sell them, and then other people get to enjoy them.
So your neighbors can benefit.
Absolutely. Nothing goes to waste around Avondale Estates gardens.
Now, this is the front of your lot. How large is your property?
It's 1.5 lots. I'm not sure, though, the square footage, but it's pretty big. The front of my house is behind you there.
You have a bed that you've planted across the front. Tell us a little bit about why you chose the kind of plants that you have in your bed.
I'm a free spirit gardener, so I just take something and I plop it in, and it usually is happy. They're sun-loving plants, all of these here. These are blooming right now.
They're beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Oh, look at the pollinator.
Oh, there's pollinators everywhere.
Look at that. I noticed you have river oats.
Yes, I have those, and I enjoyed those. It's the first year they've really come up. They're so sweet, like little pennies hanging from the garden. Here, ooh, isn't he pretty?
And you have more river oats?
It's gone very natural, my garden has, and without trying.
You have more azaleas over here.
Yes.
These would bloom when?
They bloom in the spring.
They're
George W. Tabor.
Why don't we go to another part of your yard?
Okay. Get the gate open here. Look at this butterfly here.
Yeah, this is a lantana.
Look at him.
Swallowtail.
The butterflies have been magnificent this spring. They're everywhere. One thing I've learned is that we shouldn't break off these stems because larvae live in them. Different types of insects can live in them. When we think, oh, we just break it off. No.
And this plant is about how old?
Probably 4 years old.
And is this one of those you just let it bloom? And
I just let it
die back in the wintertime?
Right. It doesn't die all the way, but it just blooms once a year. Pollinators love it.
And when would the blooms be coming out?
They've probably been out for a month.
Midsummer to late summer.
I have several types of gardenias, and they bloom at different times, which I did not know that they would do that. Thought they all bloomed at once. These are gardenias that have new growth on here, and they bloomed really early in the spring.
I thought when we came in, there was one bloom.
There it is, yes.
So we can see.
So it was late spring, and then some others kind of came on.
These gardenias here?
Yes, they are. They're a different type of gardenia.
They're interesting because they're a darker green, and the leaves look slightly different.
Yes.
They're not as large as the other ones. Are these plants trimmed back?
This is about their max. I leave this up. People consider it a weed, but the birds love the berries, so I let them have them. And so anywhere you don't see a berry, a bird is eaten.
Is this an annual or is this a perennial and coming back every year?
Many people would consider it almost a weed, which you could argue about. You can see the leaves have been eaten. It'll come back unless I pull up the stem, but I think it works there right now.
That purple, reddish with the deep purple, almost black berries on it.
Against the green leaves. A lot of things back here are volunteers. Here, and more hostas.
Now, were these transplants from your front yard?
They were.
So you've got a grass area here.
I didn't want a large grass area, so I just kept it small.
And your property now in the back goes back to
the chain link fence back there. Pretty big.
I like how you used pine straw as a mulch.
I can take you on the trail back here.
Well, let's do that. Beauty berries?
Beauty berries, yes. Once they turn purple, the birds just love them. Two kinds of beauty berries. I see there's beautyberries that are bigger berries. I'm not sure about the genus of it, but these are the small, real beautyberries. Oh, they're
Natives.
native, yes. And this is another beautyberry, and it's older, and I think it's getting maybe a little old.
I read that you can cut them back almost to the ground and they will come back from the roots. And that's the way to keep them thriving and bushy.
That's a great idea, and I think I'll do that in the fall. I love my pine trees.
Which kind of pine do you have? These are humongous.
I'm not sure what kind, but I have them checked every couple of years so they don't fall on anybody's house. Pine cones.
Do you leave the pine cones?
I do, unless it's a trail. And we're on a trail right now, so I try to move them so there's no tripping. This is a dogwood.
And this blooms in the spring.
In the
right?
spring.
And this looks almost like a hibiscus.
It's a hibiscus shrub, and it just likes this spot. It likes it so much that I have to cut it back occasionally.
And it blooms both purple and it looks like pink.
A bloom right here on this one. I would say an open structure, and there's a lot of small ones down here that'd be great for transplanting.
Now, what
Well-
happens in the wintertime with this shrub?
It loses its leaves.
And do you ever cut it back?
Yes, I have cut it back a few times so I can get to my shed because it really grows. It's quite beautiful when it starts blooming.
You get some snow and occasional ice up here, freezing temperatures. So it is a fairly hardy hibiscus.
Very hardy. In fact, most of the plants in my yard are hardy.
In terms of irrigation, what is your philosophy for your plants, or what do you try to do?
I like the native plants, and they don't need a lot of irrigation. I let nature do it, and they do well. If there was a drought, I would probably want to help out, but I have not irrigated, and they have thrived back here. So it may be more the non-natives that need the irrigation, but
Well-
I irrigate a small young plant if it's just
To
starting.
get it established.
Right.
So this one is a dogwood that is a volunteer. And you are so fortunate to be able to grow dogwoods. So are we following the path?
We're on the path. You see what the carpenter bees have done to the
Oh,
shed.
yeah.
So this imitates a wasp nest,
Ah.
and it helps a little bit. They're still on the shed, but they did that when this had fallen on the ground. So I put it back up.
That's a great garden hack. So you just stuff that with trash bags,
Yes.
with plastic
Yes.
bags
Yes.
like you get at the grocery,
Uh-huh.
and hung that up. Good idea for carpenter bees.
Yes. I probably should have another one up there where they're gnawing. Basically, it's work because we had to replace this wood. At one point, it was so bad.
Wow, that's a great garden hack. You've made a walking trail for yourself.
I did. This is my critter pile, and the critters go in there.
What do you put in your critter pile?
I just sticks and then chipmunks and all kinds of little things go in there.
It's like a sanctuary for wildlife.
It is. It's a wildlife sanctuary.
So you are attracting birds, you're attracting pollinators, and you're providing a
critters.
habitat for wildlife.
I am. They have to have some place to go. And sometimes I'll see them run in there when I come out real fast. My little pine tree area, that these are all volunteers
From the large trees.
from the other pine trees.
This looks like an oak leaf hydrangea.
It's a whole leaf hydrangea. It's already bloomed, as you can tell. I even
Well-
like this color.
I love how the bark is so interesting. It adds a little winter interest.
The texture is really
on
nice.
these leaves. If you had a dried flower arrangement,
When I planted it, it's too much shade, but it's done okay.
they like shade.
To contain the ivy back there is a challenge. I keep it from coming in. I like the quiet and the solitude back here on the trail. Here's another little critter pile I've got going. I'm only going to have about 2. I don't need a lot.
And it looks like you've got some azaleas here that are blooming.
Yes.
Now, are these also encores or is this another variety?
I'm not sure if that's an encore. They are gorgeous.
And what a nice pop of color back here at this time of year. You've got a lot of evergreens and green backdrop.
Browns and greens and
Now you've got pink. And look, there's a bumblebee
Where is he?
He's right here in one of the azaleas. Are azalea pollinator friendly? The answer is yes. And the nice thing is, if you look at the blooming form of this azalea, it's perfect for a pollinator to go in.
It is.
Sometimes you've got those doubles and they just can't get inside. But this one, they're able to go in, search of that nectar. And then you've got another one on the other side.
Yes, I put these in years ago. All this area was just dirt when we moved in. So it's become a habitat.
So when you moved, was your house just built?
No, it wasn't just built. It was built maybe 1940s, I think.
I'm seeing pollinators. I see a beautiful swallowtail butterfly.
Yes.
And pollinators on this plant.
This is a volunteer. I did not
Really?
plant it. This came up.
This plant in the back that's blooming look like the ones in the front. Is it similar?
They just have more space.
This makes a lovely informal hedge. You've got a border down here. And I love the weeping form.
I do too. And so do the insects.
And the color, the pink is beautiful.
This has been a good summer and spring for plants. They're blooming and full, more so than I ever remember.
You've had a lot of rain this year.
Yes, and that helps. A rain barrel over there. Sometimes I turn it on and I get a bucket of water.
That's convenient, and it's right here by your perennial. What a delight to just stand here and see the bees and the butterflies flying around. This whole sweep halfway is 3 plants, and then you've got 3 more over here.
Exactly.
And they're spaced out nicely. Looks like they're at least 3 or more feet apart, and they've grown together beautifully.
Inside our house, sometimes we can't quit looking through the window because there's such entertainment.
Martha, I so appreciate you taking us on your walking trail and sharing what you've learned about your plants in your yard. And I love seeing all those pollinators in action. But if someone wants to create a pollinator and a wildlife habitat in their yard, like you've done, what tips would you give them?
I would first study the light in the front and the back and the sides. Because if you plant a shade-loving plant where it's totally sunny all day, that would not work. So I think the light and where it hits is very important. Then you're not digging up and having to change plants. But a gardener's job is never finished ever. As many of us know, it just goes on forever, and it's a good thing. And we learn as we go along. So we're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Mother Nature will forgive us. But we do a lot of things right, too.
If you just moved to a new place, and you had an opportunity to put in some garden in the front of your house, what tips or what would you recommend as the first couple of steps that somebody takes?
I would look at the sun. Again, that's important because you don't want to plant a shade-loving plant in the sun, vice versa. And I also don't mind taking advantage of knowledgeable people, finding someone in the area that knows about plants. I was trial and error, and I was lucky with my trial and error. It's nice if you can tap onto somebody with some background in horticulture. I think that always helps. Also, looking at other people's yards. I'm always looking as I walk through the neighborhood at what people are doing, how they're planting. And I can then mentally say, oh, that's a good idea. I'll try that.
We didn't talk about soil when we were walking around. In this area, what kind of soil do you have?
I have a composter that I've had for forever. So I will buy soil once in a while, a bag of soil. But the soil in the composter has thousands of worms because I don't ever throw away any things that can compost. That makes the best soil. And you can mix it with the natural soil. And I think that's one reason why my plants do so well.
It looks like you have some clay soil. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Georgia is full of clay.
So what have you found out about working with clay soil?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to find plants that are suitable for clay soil, native plants.
When you're digging a hole, do you add compost to it before you put the plant in?
Yes, absolutely.
How much would you put in with your clay soil?
I don't measure. I just take a bucket. I fill the bucket with compost. It's very rich, and mix it with the soil.
So if you're digging a hole, you would put a bucket into the hole and mix it up so that the soil is not so compact.
Yes.
And how about on top? Do you put it mulch of any kind?
Usually just that mixture of the compost and the natural soil. Usually just make a well. I see people that don't understand about the wells. The water will flow into the main trunk. Some people think they're supposed to do a hill. The water will run off and not go into the soil. So it's important to make a well.
You've been gardening for quite a while. What have been some of your biggest obstacles and how did you get around them?
Because I kind of garden naturally, there aren't as many obstacles as there are where you're putting something that's not native to the environment. I think it's the type of plant you plant makes it easier and you do less mistakes.
So you would recommend people match the plant with the soil and the sun that they have and to use natives when they can.
I would. And I think a gardener makes mistakes. We're human. And if we decide we put a plant and it doesn't work, we've learned something and then we adjust.
What final words would you tell our gardeners so that they can be successful in their gardening?
I would say enjoy it, have fun. A gardener is never finished. I've read that in books and I've found that it's true. It's a wonderful thing to do and enjoy every bit of it.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate you sharing your yard with us.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed our walk around Martha's yard and that you picked up some gardening tips and ideas for your garden. I'm thrilled that we were able to see pollinators in action this end of summer here in the Atlanta area. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, Garden Yay, for more gardening tips and information. See you